Hello students, I am Tara Jayant, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Government PG College for Women, Panchkula. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the second part of type study of Amphioxus, also known as Branchiostoma. This topic is for class BSc second year, third semester. Respiratory system. Special respiratory organs are lacking in Amphioxus. The pharyngeal wall is richly vascular. That means कि एम्फियोक्सिस की फेरेंजियल वॉल में ब्लड की सप्लाई बहुत ज़्यादा होती है एंड द वाटर करंट एंटरिंग द फेरेंजियल कैविटी ब्रिंग्स फ्रेश ऑक्सीजन. एम्फियोक्सिस के लिए जो ऑक्सीजन की अवेलेबिलिटी है दैट इज थ्रू द वाटर करंट एंटरिंग इट्स बॉडी. Exchange of gases takes place and CO2 goes out by the outgoing water. गैसेस एक्सचेंज में ब्लड की ऑक्सीजनेशन हो जाती है और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज होती है जो कि आउटगोइंग वाटर करंट के साथ बॉडी से बाहर चली जाती है. देयर इज नो कैपिलरी नेटवर्क इन गिल बार्स एंड नो रेस्पिरेटरी पिगमेंट इज फाउंड इन द ब्लड ऑफ एम्फियोक्सिस. Circulatory or blood vascular system. It is of closed type and well developed. Closed type का मतलब होता है ऐसा blood vascular system या ऐसा circulatory system जिसमें blood proper blood vessels के through flow करता है, closed blood vessels के through move करता है. It is characterized by the certain primitive characters like absence of heart and absence of respiratory pigment in blood. Colorless blood is not only present in blood vessels but it is also found in lymph spaces. The blood vessels are not differentiated into proper arteries and veins as in higher vertebrates. They are having contractile walls and valves to control or regulate the flow of blood. They are called as arteries and veins just due to their homologies with those of the vertebrates. Resemblance to typical vertebrate plan. The blood vessels have similar arrangement to that of the other vertebrates. Flow of blood in similar blood vessels is in similar direction. For example, it is forward in ventral aorta and backward in dorsal aorta. Presence of hepatic portal system, as the blood from intestine is carried through liver or midgut diverticulum. Then circulation is branchial. That means the blood from ventral aorta to dorsal aorta flows through the gill bars for oxygenation. Oxygenated blood is supplied to head from the dorsal aorta by vessels called as carotid arteries. Sinus venosus, which is comparable to the posterior part of the vertebrate heart, lies just below the pharynx. Blood. Blood corpuscles and respiratory pigment in this animal is absent. Blood circulates at lower pace and low blood pressure due to inefficient coordination between the blood vessels. ब्लड वेसल्स के बीच में बहुत ज़्यादा कोऑर्डिनेशन नहीं है, इसलिए ब्लड का सर्कुलेशन बहुत ही स्लो स्पीड पे होता है और ब्लड प्रेशर भी बहुत लो होता है. Blood has no role in transportation of gases, but it helps in the transportation of food and waste products, etc. It is also present in lymph spaces situated around fin rays and metapleural folds. The next structure is sinus venosus. It is a small, thin-walled sac present just below the posterior end of pharynx or midgut diverticulum. Blood from the different parts of the body is collected by sinus venosus through a number of veins, and this blood is pumped in forward direction into the ventral aorta by sinus venosus. Now we come to the main parts of the blood vascular system of Amphioxus. There are 6 main systems or parts of the blood vascular system. First is ventral aorta, second dorsal aorta, third is subintestinal vessel, fourth hepatic portal system, fifth is cardinal veins, and sixth is parietal veins. So we are going to discuss all these parts one by one. First part is ventral aorta. It is large median longitudinal artery extending forward from sinus venosus. Blood flows in anterior direction in ventral aorta. So we can see the position of ventral aorta in this diagram. It is running just below the pharynx on the ventral side. It runs mid-ventrally in the wall of pharynx below the endostyle in the subendostylar coelom. It gives off paired lateral afferent branchial arteries which enter through the primary Gilbar. Now in this diagram we can see the position of these lateral afferent branchial arteries. So they are arising just above the ventral aorta and they are entering into the pharynx region. Then a pulsatile tiny bulb called bulbulus is present at the base of these arteries. इस डायग्राम में हम देख सकते हैं कि लेटरल अफरेंट ब्रेंकियल आर्टरीज जहाँ से अराइज होती हैं वहाँ पर कुछ स्वोलन स्ट्रक्चर्स नज़र आते हैं जिनको हम बल्बुलस बोलते हैं. Through transverse vessels, all the vessels are connected. Now we can see in this diagram there are some transverse vessels और ये transverse vessels इन lateral afferent branchial arteries को आपस में connect करते हैं. Afferent vessels leave the pharynx dorsally in the form of efferent branchial vessels and open into lateral aorta of that side. अब दोनों तरफ से दोनों लेटरल साइड से ये अफरेंट ब्रेंकियल वेसल्स फेरिंक्स से बाहर आते हैं इन दी फॉर्म ऑफ इफरेंट ब्रेंकियल वेसल्स और ऊपर डॉर्सल साइड पर जाने के बाद ये दोनों साइड के यानी लेफ्ट और राइट साइड के लेटरल एओर्टा में ओपन हो जाते हैं. बिफोर डूइंग सो दे फॉर्म अ कैपिलरी नेटवर्क कॉल्ड ग्लोमस with nephridium. So we can see in this diagram that just when the efferent branchial arteries they come outside the pharynx and before they join into the lateral aorta they give off certain swollen structures. Actually they are capillary network which we call as glomus. Then second part of the blood vascular system is dorsal aorta. As the name suggests, it is present on the dorsal side. Two lateral dorsal aortae lie on either dorsolateral sides of the pharynx. Now we can see their position in the diagram. They continue anteriorly as internal carotid arteries towards the oral hood. Anterior side पर ये दोनों lateral वेसल्स कैरोटिड आर्टरी की ब्रांचेस की फॉर्म में ओरल हुड की तरफ एक्सटेंड हो जाते हैं. वी कैन सी द लेफ्ट कैरोटिड आर्टरी इन द गिवन डायग्राम. टू लेटरल डॉर्सल एओर्टी यूनाइट जस्ट बिहाइंड द फेरिंक्स into single median dorsal aorta which runs posteriorly between notochord and intestine and enters the tail region as caudal artery. Now what happens in posterior direction? In the posterior direction behind the pharynx, these two dorsal lateral aortae, they join to form a common vessel and this common vessel is called as the median dorsal aorta जो आगे टेल रीजन की तरफ एक्सटेंड हो जाता है और टेल में एंटर करता है एज caudal artery. Blood flows backwards in dorsal aorta and supplies blood through several intestinal arteries forming a capillary network or plexus in the intestinal wall. So behind the pharynx, intestine is present, and we can see that certain small vessels, which we call as intestinal arteries, they are forming a capillary network in the intestinal wall, and this capillary network is called as intestinal plexus. From lateral and median dorsal aorta, some branches lead to myocele, the lymph spaces between the myotomes, and also to the body wall. Now we come to the third part of the blood vascular system, that is connected by a mid-ventral caudal vein. Caudal vein टेल वाले रीजन से ब्लड को रिटर्न करती है या कलेक्ट करती है. फ्रॉम इंटेस्टाइन इट इज कलेक्टेड बाय लेटरल इंटेस्टाइनल veins, and these lateral intestinal veins, they join to form a small median longitudinal subintestinal vein lying below the intestine in the form of plexus. We can note the position of this subintestinal vein. It is running just below the intestine on the ventral side. The blood flows in it in anterior direction. Then comes the next part, that is hepatic portal system. पोर्टल सिस्टम का मीनिंग होता है जब कोई वेन किसी ऑर्गन से ब्लड रिटर्न करती है, लेकिन अपनी फाइनल डेस्टिनेशन तक पहुंचने से पहले वो किसी और ऑर्गन के अंदर एंटर करती है, ब्रेक हो जाती है स्मॉल वेसल्स में, और फिर दोबारा से ब्लड को कलेक्ट करते हुए वो उस ऑर्गन से बाहर निकलती है. तो जो वेन्स इस तरह का नेटवर्क बनाती हैं, दिस सिस्टम इज कॉल्ड एज द पोर्टल सिस्टम. So in case of amphioxus, the portal system is hepatic portal system. The subintestinal vein continues anteriorly as the hepatic portal vein. We can note the position of hepatic portal vein. It is present just alongside the midgut diverticulum. So it is running ventrally along the midgut diverticulum, in which it breaks up in capillary network. Thus, it forms a hepatic portal system. From diverticulum, the blood is collected by hepatic vein running along its dorsal border and bending downwards to join sinus venosus. तो इस तरह hepatic portal system, it is made up of hepatic portal vein and then the hepatic vein, which finally returns the blood to the sinus venosus. Now we come to the next part, that is cardinal veins. The blood from ventrolateral regions of the body is collected on either side by an anterior and posterior cardinal vein. We can note the position of these two cardinal veins. The veins shown in blue color, they are the anterior and posterior cardinal veins. These two veins unite just behind the pharynx to form a common cardinal vein or ductus qveri. So we can note the position of ductus qveri also. The two ductus qveri then run down through atrium to join the sinus venosus. So this way again the blood is returned by the cardinal veins to the sinus venosus. Then comes the last part, that is the parietal veins. Blood from dorsal body wall is collected by pair of parietal veins, one on the either side. They run above the intestine for some distance and turn ventrally to join the sinus venosus. So we can again note down the position of the parietal vein. It is shown as a pink color vein in the above diagram. So it is coming from the dorsal side and then it is bending downward toward the ventral side, and finally it is returning the blood to the sinus venosus. Course of circulation. In this chart, we can see the course of blood circulation in the blood vascular system of amphioxus that we have studied in the previous slides. Starting from the ventral aorta, we can see that the blood enters into afferent branchial vessels. Afferent branchial vessels enter into the pharyngeal region and then they come out as efferent branchial vessels, which send the blood to the lateral dorsal aorta of both the sides. These two lateral dorsal aorta join in the posterior part to form a common vessel called as median dorsal aorta, which supplies the blood to other parts present in the posterior region. Then there are a number of vessels which are collecting the blood from different organs and then return them to the sinus venosus. First is parietal veins. They return the blood from the dorsal body wall region to the sinus venosus. Then intestinal plexus, returning the blood from the intestine part, send it to the subintestinal vein, then hepatic portal vein, hepatic vein, and finally to the sinus venosus. Caudal vein returns the blood from the caudal region, sends it to the subintestinal vein, then hepatic portal vein, hepatic vein, and again to the sinus venosus. Then cardinal veins, they return the blood from the ventrolateral regions and join to form the ductus qveri. And ductus qveri finally open into the sinus venosus. This is how the blood is finally returned to the sinus venosus. Blood flows anteriorly inside parietal, subintestinal, posterior cardinal veins and ventral aorta, and it flows posteriorly inside lateral, median dorsal aorta and anterior cardinal vein. Lymphatic system. Lymph as such is not found in this animal. The so-called lymphatic spaces or sinuses present inside fins and metapleural folds are filled with colorless blood lacking in leukocytes. It is considered that most of the oxygen required by the animal is obtained by gaseous exchange between outside water and blood present inside the superficial sinuses. यानी जितनी भी ऑक्सीजन इस एनिमल को अवेलेबल होती है दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द gaseous exchange which occurs between outside water and blood in these superficial sinuses. Excretory system. It is present in the form of ectodermal protonephridia. Several pairs are present and one median or sex nephridium is present near the wheel organ. Some accessory excretory organs like brown funnel and renal papillae are also present. Protonephridia. There are about 90 to 100 pairs of protonephridia. These are simple, closed, ciliated, thin-walled ectodermal tubules. This diagram is showing the position of nephridia in amphioxus or branchiostoma. So we can see that they are arranged segmentally on dorsolateral sides of pharyngeal wall, one above each gill slit on either side. This diagram shows the structure of one protonephridium. Each nephridium is bent, forming a small upper posterior horizontal limb and a long lower anterior vertical limb. The vertical limb lies in the coelomic canal of the primary gill bar and terminates blindly. यानी इस तरफ इस वर्टिकल लिम्ब के टर्मिनल एंड पर कोई ओपनिंग प्रेजेंट नहीं होती. The horizontal limb also lies in the dorsal coelomic canal but opens into the atrium opposite a secondary gill bar by a small ciliated aperture called as nephridiopore. तो हॉरिजॉन्टल लिम्ब में एक ओपनिंग प्रेजेंट होती है और उस ओपनिंग को हम नेफ्रीडियोपोर कहते हैं. Here we can see the enlarged view of a solenocyte. So solenocytes are actually the bunches of cells which are present on the projections on the lateral side of the nephridium. The dorsal and anterior surface of nephridium gives out several small branches, each receiving a tuft of flame cells called as solenocytes. So they are present in groups or tufts. Each solenocyte is 50 microns long, has tiny rounded nucleated cell body as we can see in the diagram, and long hollow stalk that opens into lumen of nephridial branch through a separate aperture. A long vibratile flagellum arising from a minute basal body in the cell extends through the tubule and projects freely in the lumen of nephridium. इस डायग्राम में हम देख सकते हैं कि न्यूक्लियस के नीचे की तरफ एक फ्लैजिलम अराइज होता है इन एवरी सोलिनोसाइट और वो ट्यूबुलर पार्ट में से रन करता हुआ नीचे नेफ्रीडियम के ल्यूमन तक एक्सटेंड हो जाता है. The nephridia are highly vascular and solenocytes freely project into coelomic fluid and excretion occurs by the process of simple diffusion. Nitrogenous wastes are extracted by solenocytes from blood and coelomic fluid discharged by the nephridiopores into the atrium and passed out through atriopore with outgoing current of water. Hertzschick's nephridium. A single long and straight tube called the nephridium of Hertzschick lies in the roof of oral hood slightly towards the left and ventral to the notochord. In this diagram, we can note the position of Hertzschick's nephridium. It is lying very close to the central part of the wheel organ. Its anterior blind end lies somewhat ahead of Hertzschick's pit and posterior end opens into prebranchial sac of pharynx. It is ectodermal in origin and blood is supplied by the dorsal aorta. Structurally, it is same as the other nephridia, the structure we have seen in the previous slide. Solenocytes are surrounded by coelomic sac. Brown funnels. These are additional organs of excretion. The two sac-like brown funnels are situated dorsally upon the posterior end of pharynx, one on either side. The narrow anterior end of each funnel opens into the epibranchial or dorsal coelomic canal of its side, while the broad posterior end opens into the atrium part. Most workers consider them to be excretory. ज़्यादातर साइंटिस्ट का कहना है कि इनका रोल एक्सक्रीशन में होता है, while some other say that they are a kind of receptor organ. Renal papillae. These are another additional organs for excretion. Groups of cells present on the floor of the atrial cavity form renal papillae, which are probably also excretory in nature. Then comes the next part, nervous system. The nervous system of Amphioxus is very simple and consists of following parts. First is nerve cord, second peripheral nerves, third autonomic nervous system. Nerve cord or central nervous system. It is formed of dorsal hollow nerve cord lying mid-dorsally just above the notochord. So central nervous system is mainly made up of nerve cord. Anterior end is enlarged and called as cerebral vesicle and it is present in the rostrum part. The posterior part is called spinal cord. A central canal-like cavity is present that is called as the neurocele. In cerebral vesicle, it dilates and forms the ventricle. This cavity is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. This diagram is showing the lateral section of anterior part of the nerve cord. A small outgrowth called dorsal diverticulum arises from cerebral vesicle and extends into the central canal backwardly. Cerebral vesicle contains a pigment spot in the anterior wall and infundibular organ on its floor. So both these structures we can see in the diagram. Histologically, the nerve cord consists of inner grey matter and outer white matter. अगर हम टीएस देखें नर्व कॉर्ड का तो हमें नज़र आएगा कि नर्व कॉर्ड में बाहर की तरफ वाइट मैटर प्रेजेंट होता है और अंदर की तरफ ग्रे मैटर प्रेजेंट होता है। पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम, दिस इज फॉर्म्ड ऑफ पेयर्ड नर्व्स अराइजिंग फ्रॉम द नर्व कॉर्ड एंड इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स। जितनी भी जो नर्व्स हैं जो नर्व कॉर्ड के दोनों साइड से अराइज होती हैं वो पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम को बनाती हैं और ये नर्व्स दो तरह की होती हैं, सेरिब्रल नर्व्स एंड स्पाइनल नर्व्स। सो फर्स्ट वी आर टेकिंग सेरिब्रल नर्व्स। These are two pairs of nerves arising from sense organs of snout, oral hood and buccal cirri, and they supply to the cerebral vesicle. So in this diagram we can see that in the anterior most part, just near the pigment spot, first pair of cerebral nerve is present, and just below the first pair of cerebral nerves lies the second pair of cerebral nerves. Then comes spinal nerves. They arise from nerve cord behind the cerebral vesicle. Cerebral vesicle के आगे वाले रीजन से जो भी nerves arise होंगी, they form the spinal nerves. In each segment, there is present a pair of dorsal and ventral roots. हर एक spinal nerve के दो parts होते हैं. The one arising from the dorsal side is called dorsal root and the one arising from the ventral side is called ventral root. These are not mixed to form single nerve. Ventral root is motor in nature and supply to myotomes just opposite to its origin. The dorsal root is both sensory and motor and supply to skin between myotomes. Ventral root has many branches but dorsal root is single as we can see in the diagram. This diagram shows the TS of nerve cord in both cerebral vesicle region as well as nerve root regions. So some structures we can see here in this diagram that are common in both, like in the central part, central canal, which is a cavity that can be seen in both the TS. Then dorsal fissure, it is a depression found on the dorsal side and then extends the dorsal septum. Nerve cells, joint nerve cells, nerve fibers are also visible in both the sections. Then in the part which is showing the nerve root, we can see the presence of ventral root as well as the dorsal root of spinal nerves. Autonomic nervous system. It controls the involuntary movements of muscles of gut wall. It is present in the form of two nerve plexi in the gut wall. These are connected to nerve cord by visceral nerves of dorsal root. Sense organs. This animal has got very simple sense organs like eye spot, cephalic pigment spot, infundibular organ and Colliker's pit. First of all, eye, it is also called as ocelli. Photoreceptor organ present on ventrolateral side of nerve cord. So actually eye is a photoreceptor organ. It consists of blackish brown cup-shaped pigment cell covering a photosensitive cell. So in this diagram, this is the structure of eye shown here. We can see a long black colored cell which is very large, which is known as the pigment cell having a nucleus inside it. And just below this pigment cell, we can see the photosensitive cell. The photosensitive cell sends fine nerve fibers to the nerve cord. So we can see a nerve fiber arising just below the photosensitive cell. The eye spots are oriented in different directions and they perceive light from all the directions. This is the difference between cephalic pigment spot and Colliker's pit. Cephalic pigment spot is also called as cerebral eye. It's a large median pigment spot on the anterior wall of cerebral vesicle. It lacks the lens, it is non-sensitive to light and it protects the ocelli. Then Colliker's pit, it is an ectodermal depression on the roof of anterior wall of cerebral vesicle. It is the mark of larval neuropore. It is also considered as olfactory pit and it is a chemoreceptor. Then comes infundibular organ. In this diagram, we are seeing the VS of infundibular organ. It is located at the floor of cerebral ventricle. It is formed of columnar ciliated cells that can be seen in this diagram. They are a kind of receptor cells and its function is to detect the changes in the pressure of cerebrospinal fluid. Here is the difference between free nerve endings and sensory cells and papillae. Free nerve endings are enteroreceptors present as free nerves in the muscles. They perceive internal stimuli like contraction of muscles. Then sensory cells and papillae, these are scattered all over the epidermis. These are abundant on dorsal side and oral cirri. These are tactile receptors and chemoreceptors. That is, they can detect the taste and smell. Then Hatschek spit. They spit and groove in the roof of oral hood are sensory and of unknown function. Reproductive system. In this animal, the sexes are separate. That is, male and female animals are separate, but they cannot be distinguished externally. That is, there is no sexual dimorphism. Gonads. About 26 to 27 pairs of gonads are present in 2 rows. They are arranged metamerically in 25 to 51 segment on the ventrolateral body wall in middle of pharyngeal region up to atriopore. They are visible through transparent body wall and gonoducts are absent. This diagram shows the structure of a mature gonad in VS. Gonads are simple hollow sac-like structures. They are covered on outer side by the body wall and on the inner side by the atrial epithelium. Each gonad encloses a primary gonadial cavity and it is surrounded by a secondary gonadial cavity or gonocele. So we can see both these cavity, that is primary gonadial cavity as well as the secondary gonadial cavity in the given diagram. Primary gonadial cavity encloses a group of germ cells which arise from its wall. So we can see a number of germ cells which are lying inside the primary gonadial cavity. Gametes. Since gonoducts are absent, mature gametes are discharged into the atrium by rupturing of gonadial wall. The gametes are of two types, spermatozoa and ova. Spermatozoa are the smallest in chordates. It is about 18 microns long, has nucleated head with acrosome, middle piece and a long tail. Ova are large and rounded, about 0.12 mm in diameter. It is microlacithal and homolacithal. That means कि इनमें योग का अमाउंट कम होता है और योग यूनिफॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड होता है and it is covered by vitelline membrane. Fertilization is external in this animal, that is, it takes place outside the body. Development is indirect, that means the life history of this animal includes a free-swimming larval stage and development occurs in the sea water. This is all with today's topic. In today's lecture, we have studied respiratory system, blood vascular system, excretory system, nervous system, sense organs and reproductive system of Amphioxus. And I hope all of you are able to understand today's topic. Thank you.